Welcome to Scale Her Up. I'm Brenda Hector, and delighted to have Laura Mearns from Northwood with me today. Laura, thank you for taking the time to be on Scale Her Up.
Thank you for having me, Brenda. It's a pleasure and look forward to hearing what you're going to ask me.
So let's just, locally around Aberdeen and networking, you're probably quite well known actually. And I think you were in the paper just the other day with with business and everything. But for anyone that's not familiar, what is it that you do?
So I'm Laura Mearns. I own Northwood Northeast, and we specialise in residential sales and leasing. We've been in business for 15 years. It's been a super exciting journey, starting out in lettings 15 years ago, offering guaranteed rent, which was something new to the market back then. And then 7 years ago, moving into estate agency. So that's what I get up to. It keeps me super busy. I absolutely love what I do. I'm so passionate about people, about helping people, and property has always been top of my agenda because it's something that I love. And being from Aberdeen, property and working with people locally in that market really excites me.
Fantastic. So, and you've got how many offices around the northeast of Scotland?
So we have two offices, soon to be three. So we have our flagship office in Rosemount Place, where most of the team sit, and we opened 2.5 years ago in Inverurie, in the High Street, and soon to be opening our third office in Banky High Street in summer this year. So we work on a rota basis. So what I mean by that is I've got a team, we're one big team, and we share the different locations depending on our knowledge, where we live, and making sure that we give as much local information as we can to our different areas that we work in.
Fantastic. So how big's the team then? You must have quite a few staff to operate. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I've got an amazing team from, it's starting to one, my ops director, Matt Pullinger, who came through the door 15 years ago, to have grown to a team now, including myself, of 15. It's just been absolutely amazing. And if it wasn't for the team, I wouldn't have the business, that I now have. We recently recruited, so we were a team of 13 up until a month ago, and I've recruited 2 new members of staff into the estate agency team. And with the opening of our Bankery office in a few months, I expect that we will expand further and look to recruit more. And I've already got a bit of local interest, which is really exciting. So an amazing team, so supportive. We're really one big family. We all help each other, and it's got Northwood to where it is today.
So for a lot of people, hiring people and finding good people and keeping good people is a real challenge. How have you done that?
So finding the right people and keeping people is absolutely top of our agenda. So one of our goals when we opened Northwood was to develop and retain staff. So I come from an accountancy background prior to my property company, and also a training and development background where I used to train accountancy graduates, both in technical skills and soft skills. So coaching and guidance and training, it's always been a big part of my life, and I love helping people. So when we opened our doors at Northwood, one of the main objectives was to grow and develop our own talent in-house, to help and support them, to coach them and guide them, both from our experiences and our knowledge, but also working with external experts, whether it be in leadership or whether it be, in soft skills. So every member of staff has got a training plan if they want one. Ultimately, some staff are very happy doing what they're doing and they don't necessarily want to develop, but we make sure that that's what they want. But for those that want to develop, want to grow with the business. So Matt, my ops director, is a classic example of that. He joined us as a trainee property manager and is now a director of the business. And we offer that path to every member of our team. So for me, staff retention comes from the commitment that we make to our team, and our growth plans have allowed us to follow through on those commitments. And I now have key members that now head up each of our office locations, and there will be more exciting locations, I'm sure, to come in the future. So that's how we look after our staff. Also, we're very involved in our community. So a big thing for me is the team. One of our values is live and love local, where we give back to the community. And that gives our team a real sense of spirit to work together, to work as a team, away from our desk, away from the 9 to 5, away from, you know, the traditionally what we do each day, and actually going into communities, doing and work, supporting charities. But as a team, it really bonds us. It really helps us get to know each other and have fun, which is also really, really important. So there are two key things that really contribute to having the most amazing team, and the fact that they're so loyal, and we've grown into a really strong team, particularly post-COVID as well. I would say that really brought everybody so close, because we all looked out for each other, we all helped each other, and that has continued, obviously, as we continue to grow the business.
So you mentioned the values. How important are the values? And tell us your values.
So the values for us over the last 15 years, it was actually one of the first things that we developed as a business in the early days. I wasn't involved in that process initially, only because I wasn't at Northwood full time at that point 15 years ago, but we have reviewed them regularly, and we reviewed them most recently 18 months ago. So we've developed our mission, our vision, and our values, and they are part of our team's day-to-day life, to ensure that we deliver internally and support each other, to ensure that we deliver what we expect, or what we want to give to our clients. So they're very much embedded, and they're also embedded into the staff reviews. When we have our team reviews, we always go back and look at the values and the importance of those and what they mean. And we're about to launch a survey to all of our clients, our landlords, tenants, buyers and sellers, and incorporating those values into those surveys to ensure that our clients are also fully aware and understand and make our values visible to them. So yeah, it's a huge part of my business. I don't believe you can run a successful business without having a core set of values that everybody believes in and works towards.
It helps everyone make decisions as well, doesn't it?
Indeed. Sorry, my phone just fell down. My apologies. Absolutely.
No problem. I just let's just talk about that. You're in the car, getting peace and juggling. I mean, your husband also runs a business. You've got 3 kids. What's it like, the juggle all these years?
Life is mad, but I absolutely love it. So I love the challenge. I absolutely adore my family, my husband, what he's achieving in his business, what we're achieving with Northwood, what my children are achieving. When somebody asks me that question, how do I do it? I don't actually know, but I think the point is I love every part of what I do. So I just give it all energy. And I won't lie, I enjoy a holiday. I do get downtime. I do switch off, and that's thanks to the amazing team that I've got. So I'm probably a bit like a hedgehog, in the sense that I'll go away and hibernate maybe for a week or 10 days, catch up on some sleep, and then come back bouncing, full of ideas and ready for the next, quarter. So that's probably how I do it, because I do take time out, which I believe is really, really important for any business owner, any team member, anyone. It is important when you're super busy that you get time out to stop and reflect and look after yourself, which I try and do as best as I can.
Oh, good. Yeah, I agree with that actually. I think there are lots of business owners who think that, you know, working all these hours is just par for the course and you just have to get on with it. But if they don't have the downtime and they don't recharge, they can't think strategically, and you know, you can't be, it's really difficult to look at the future and put the plans in place and think strategically when you're absolutely exhausted just doing operational stuff. So yeah,
Absolutely. And I think you touched on a big thing there, the operational is trying to get that balance between the strategic side of the business, the operational. With a small business, it can be very hard to not be operational to some extent until obviously you've built your team, they have the skill set, and you can also afford to grow that team as well. So, you know, ultimately, it is something that I'm very actively working on to try and get that balance right. The difficulty with that is, and I'm sure many business owners will relate to this, is you love the operational bit too. So it's just trying to get that balance, you know, between the two. But certainly my direction, and with the amazing team I've got in place and with the growth, I'm now focusing more on the strategic side of the business. And just love meeting people to connect and continue to grow that the business and the exciting journey that we're on.
So what have been the absolute highs? What have been the best parts of being in business all these years?
The absolute highs, the growth, ultimately seeing new offices opening, the launch of a state agency has been an absolute high in the backdrop of what is a very exclusive market here in the Northeast, with the way that properties are advertised across the Northeast. To break into that with something new and something different has been a real highlight. And obviously we're seeing great traction and great success with that. And it's great to bring something new to the market. So, you know, one of the big highlights when we opened Northwood was obviously bringing guaranteed rent into Aberdeen. So likewise with the state agency 7 years ago, we brought something different to the market, but having the high street presence, you know, differentiates us. So that's been huge highs for us across the business, and just seeing the team grow and develop, because so many of them, we had our long service awards a couple of weeks ago, and we were celebrating 15 years, 10 years, 7 years, 6 years, and 5 years, which is just amazing. So that's a huge high. And this year, specifically from a community perspective, a huge high is what we're doing to give so much back to the community. So we've always done it since day one. We've always given to charity. We've always organised events. As a business, we've supported it and we've raised money. But this year we decided to celebrate 15 years. We would have 12 community days. So all my team are getting 12 days out of the office to go and do community events that we're organising, and then 3 fundraising events. So that's been a huge high to the success of the business, being able to support local charities and local communities.
Brilliant. And then what have been the challenges? What have been the tough times?
It's been tough, and I'm not going to lie. And it's been tough since I walked through the door in 2013. So yes, we set up Northwood in 2008, and yes, I was part of it behind the scenes more so. But when I took on the running of Northwood in 2013, that was the start of everything in Aberdeen crashing, rental values dropping, house prices dropping. It was a really scary time. What we did is, with an accountant hat on and multiple spreadsheets, obviously behind the scenes, we just made sure that we protected the business. We made decisions to protect the business, but ultimately we honoured every single client contract back then. And what I mean by that is, for guaranteed rent, you're paying a fixed amount to client every month. And regardless of all the backdrop and the negativity and obviously what happened in 2013, 14 and 15, we honoured every contract. And that was the foundation for our clients absolutely trusting us and renewing with us, yes, on lower rates the following year, but they believed that we supported them and we stood by them regardless of the tough times. So that was a huge challenge navigating that. And I was literally just in the door running the business. So that was huge. And yes, I had the support of the whole team and of Stephen and of Matt as well, but there were a lot of difficult decisions to be made. And just as we were climbing out of that, what I'll call hole, that difficult period, bang, the C word, COVID hit. And COVID, overnight, 100 properties became vacant. Tenants left properties rather than racking up arrears. They left properties to move home, which was the right thing to do. But then we were left with 100 properties. And with the obviously the rules in place at that time, we were unable to let many of those properties because we were only able to let to somebody that otherwise would be homeless. So it was very restrictive. So again, we had to think on our feet so quickly. The team, the day before lockdown, we were out videoing every property. We were just doing everything we possibly could to make sure that we could work remotely. Never ever did I think that we would be able to operate a business remotely. And thanks to the team, and particularly Matt and Scott on the IT side of things, getting that delivered and up and running. So yes, the business suffered. Yes, it was a tough time. We had to furlough 5 of the team. I kept in touch with them every single week. And with all the hard work that went in behind the scenes for those that continued to work during that period, we were successfully able to bring everybody back. We've continued over the last few years to build the business back up to where it was pre-COVID, and nobody has been made redundant, and we've actually grown in that time. So that was one of the biggest challenges, was navigating that, as it was for everyone. As a business owner, it was scary. I remember going on to networking meetings and being professional but bursting into tears. You know, it was a really, really scary time. And I remember standing
I was just
in the
thinking about those networking meetings, because we
Mhm.
were joining on the same networking
we
meeting.
were
I
we
think they were
were
weekly,
yeah,
weren't they? And actually, there was such, it really helped. I mean, nobody was passing business. It was such
it,
a tough time, but just meeting other people who were going through the same thing was really, really
it
helpful,
was
wasn't it?
such a supportive community. And, you know, I've always been a believer in networking, but my experience during COVID and having received the support from so many people during that time, and it wells me up now, you know, I've got tears in my eyes now, but that has just continued in my networking. And networking, yes, we're here to help each other and grow our businesses and, you know, share business, absolutely. But that support that networking gives to me, and it really, really came true during COVID. So, you know, the crash in 14, 15, and then COVID has been definitely my biggest challenges. But the good news is, in Aberdeen, property's on the up. We're moving in the right direction. And then the launch of a state agency has been so successful, and I can only hope that'll go even further. If I can launch that on the day of lockdown, we went live on the radio. So if I can launch the state agency side of the business on the day we went into lockdown and achieve the success that we've achieved, obviously, over the last 7 years, I'm really, really excited to see what we can continue to do with that in the coming years.
So, what does the future hold? Where are we
The
going?
future holds lots of exciting things, Brenda, for my team, for the business, and for me personally. I'm currently working on what that's going to look like, from a personal point of view, from a business point of view, and for my team. There's lots of great opportunity in each of those pies, if I can call them. From a business point of view, we're going to continue with that growth, and I believe that we will continue to expand with another office, and possibly up north as well. We're looking at that as an option. For my team, seeing them grow into directors, become leaders, and come to the monthly board meetings, and for that to continue is really exciting. And for me personally, to obviously support the team, to look at what that's going to look like for me in the future. I do have some plans. I'd love to travel. I'd love to be on the board of a charity. But I'd also very much still want to be involved in my business at Northwood. But how that's structured is what I'm working on at the moment, just in terms of making sure that I can achieve my personal goals alongside the business goals here at Northwood.
Lovely, exciting times. So I'm just going to finish with asking you about being a female in business, a female business owner. The purpose of Scale Her Up is to inspire and motivate other women to start or scale their businesses. Because, you know, we don't do that as much as men do. And if we did, it would add 250 billion to the UK economy. So what would be your advice to a woman thinking of starting or trying to scale their business?
Absolutely go for it and believe in yourself. I have to say that I have always had a desire to run a business, but I imagine doing it alongside somebody or with my husband. You know, Northwood started out with both of us, and although he's involved at a high level, he's not involved in day-to-day operations. So never did I imagine back then that I would now be doing what I'm doing. And it's just about believing in yourself, getting that support network around you. I think me having that support network before I came in to obviously run Northwood at the level that I do now and gain experience has been really helpful. So the support's key, and just reach out to people, get help. You know, that's how I've got to where I am today. I couldn't be where I am today without the help, that whether it's help with childcare or whether it's help with making a big decision, or whether it's help with launching, you know, a new service, whatever it might be, ask for help. That's so, so important.
I think that's
And
such a powerful question, isn't it? Can you help me?
yes,
Who
absolutely,
would say no? Really?
absolutely, absolutely. And I think reach for the stars in terms of be ambitious. And that's what I've learned over the years as a business owner, is you might think, oh, I'll never achieve that. Don't think like that. Go for it. And you will take the steps to achieve that. And yes, it may take time, but with the help and the support there and the strategic decision making, you know, reach for the stars. Absolutely go for it is my advice to any woman out there. And I'd love to chat to anyone if they are looking, you know, to start their business and they don't know where to start, or they just want a chat, a coffee. You know that I love helping people. And if there's anyone out there listening to this, pick up the phone. Let's have a coffee.
Oh, that's a great listeners, viewers, take her up on that. Lots of experience that Laura can share. And I was just thinking, I've just been reading, well, I've been listening on Audible actually, a book that was recommended to me last week. It's called 10x is easier than 2x.
Okay, I've not heard of that. So yeah.
It's about having being ambitious and thinking big.
Mm-hmm,
If you're trying to 2 times what you're doing,
mm-hmm,
it's
mm-hmm.
about continuing to do what you're doing and do more of it, which is very tiring and time consuming. But if you're going to 10 times what you're doing, you have to do things differently.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oops,
Sorry, I lost you there.
that's
The
all right.
joys of this is the only way I can get peace, Brenda, as you know. So this is why I'm sat in my car on my phone, because I knew that you would get me for this whole time and I could just not be interrupted. So sorry for the little blips in between
Oh,
there.
no problem. I think it's a valuable message to put out there that you do what you can when you can and where you can, and technology's a great thing that's enabling us to do that. So yeah, I've
Absolutely.
joined many a Zoom from my car. That's just the that's professionalism these days, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, is there anything, Laura, that I should have asked you that I didn't ask? Anything you would like to add?
No, I've thoroughly enjoyed the questions. I wasn't quite sure what you were going to ask. I've thoroughly enjoyed them. And yeah, if anybody wants to chat more about any part of what we've discussed today, but I think we've covered so much, Brendan. I really appreciate the opportunity to obviously chat to you today and share a bit more about my journey and what I've been up to.
Well, thank you so much for sharing it, and can't wait to see where it brings you next.
Thank you so much.